Hello and welcome to Leviathan News. It's January 4th, and there's four of us here today. Me, Wajahat, Garrett, and DeFi Advisor. We're all here. Four, baby. Four.
Oh, yeah.
How are you all doing?
On
Quite
January
well,
4th, by the way, on January 4th.
Four. I know. Hey,
Curve
actually,
just turned 4.
Curve just turned, really?
4 years since his first pool was deployed.
Oh, wow. Wait, Curve was deployed in 2019? I didn't know that.
It's 2024, Sam.
Oh, it is 2024, isn't it?
Writing 2023 on all your math.
Oh, wow. So the curve pools were first deployed at the beginning of 2020? Wow. It's so long ago, but it seems so short ago. I remember when first using Curve and like the airdrop that came from it. And speaking of airdrops, we're going to talk about airdrops today. But first, let's go through some news. Yesterday, we had a hack that happened. PeckShield came out and said that 211.9 ETH. Well, it was more than this. It turned out to be about like 3.4 million. But Algebra was hacked. It was an exploit. It was later found out. Officer CIA reported that it looked to be an issue with Gamma. Gamma is a liquidity management protocol, and it looks like there was an exploit on their hypervisor contract rather than Algebra itself, and they lost about $3.4 million. And so at first people were thinking that some of the other pools, because Algebra really backs a bunch of like big crypto exchanges. They support QuickSwap. Here we go. They support Camelot, Athena, a lot of different DEXes out there. And so I think people were a little bit worried at first because there's $185 million potentially at risk if there was a contract wide exploit that was found. But if it's just for Gamma, then that's better to know. But never a day without another exploit in crypto.
It's not good. I think we saw Radiant just a couple of days ago on Arbitrum have a little exploit. Yeah, I wonder when are these exploits going to stop?
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things with anytime anybody deploys new and novel code that you never know what all the potential outcomes could be for it.
It's scary.
I'm curious how you take your all's temperature. Like, I'm a big decentralization maximalist, especially on L1. But what would be your thoughts on an L2, which had, I don't know exactly how you'd structure it, but like a small wise council of elders that could reverse hacks like these? Would you guys be in favor of like a hack-proof chain?
No gimmies, no takebacks.
I feel like that goes against everything that we're here for.
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, I wanted to talk about this before we get into it. Garrett, I already know what you would get, but if you had to get a tattoo this cycle, which protocol or crypto are you getting done up on your body?
I risk of offending someone.
There's only one.
At risk of offending pretty much anyone, I'm sure someone listening to this I'm going to offend with this, but why on earth would you get a tattoo of any crypto protocol?
Why not? Why not?
I don't have a tattoo, so I guess I'm the wrong audience to ask the question.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we can come up with like a bet, and maybe if you win or if you lose, depending on what you think about it, then you'll get one at the end of the year.
No, I'm not a tattoo person. I'm in that small minority of people nowadays that don't have tattoos. Do you?
To be fair, I'm the same. No, I don't.
Me? Yeah, I got a bunch. Yeah, but from when I was younger. But if we'll think of something, maybe we can come up with something to get Garrett a curve tattoo by the end of 2024.
MPC 68 says he has a curve cap tattoo.
There we go.
I told you I'd offend someone, and now he's fiercely trying to scratch it off after I offended him.
Yeah, it's been a kind of rip-roaring day. Like, we had all those liquidations yesterday, and just crazy markets. But the narrative for 2024 is that it's going to be airdrop season, which is kind of crazy. There's so many projects out there that are on the brink of giving out billions of dollars, and we just have to hopefully figure out which ones are the ones to allocate some capital to. you know, it's usually never the crowded trades, right? And we'll start with those. So we'll start with the $1 billion crowded trades that everybody's already in. The most prominent of which at the moment is Eigenlayer. And so we've talked about Eigenlayer a bunch before. Eigenlayer is a restaking protocol that is going to be launched sometime this year. And they have the ability to swap and restake to where you can essentially get all these different types of LSDs, deposit them in, and you'll start to get some TVL. So it's pretty incredible how that they've been able to surpass over $1 billion of TVL into their contracts so far.
Yeah, they've hit their caps again. So I think once they unlock some more caps, I would expect TVL to keep going up. Really, people really love this, and we all know that points mean prizes, and help you able to see how many points you have. Simply just stake any of the following LSDs, and you get points. And I believe soon they will support even more liquid staking tokens. So even things like Frax should potentially be there in Q1 anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but it is crowded. I mean, we're talking about a potential $10 billion TVL for this when it launches, which is just absolutely crazy. I think that if we're talking about like what is going to be the big huge protocol for next year, it's going to be Eigenlayer. So I'm pretty excited to see what the team has done. Shram is like one of the smartest people in the space, and just it's going to be great. So okay. Number 2 for crowded.
While we're on the subject of airdrops, like I've never particularly been much of an airdrop hunter.
Yeah?
But like, what is all of your airdrop strategies? Like, assuming you have finite capital and can't deploy to every potential new protocol that might have a like airdrop, like how do you evaluate them?
I don't know, actually. All the airdrops I've ever gotten have just been from like trying things. I'm not a person who's like generating hundreds of wallets and depositing stuff into. Usually it's just like, oh, hey, here's something new. I want to go try it out. And then there's a happy surprise that comes like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months later.
I think NPC 68 has just mentioned like a really good strategy, which is kind of going for 2-in-1. So for example, if you look at Eigenlayer right now, look, there's a Swell ETH, which is kind of 2 airdrops in one, because you can get Swell and Eigen at the same time. So kind of being a little bit smart with that can be a better way to be a bit more capital efficient.
Yeah, and I think this is why Swell's gotten $323 million worth of TVL recently, is that they do have this airdrop coming up, and that people are crowding into this with the expectations that they'll get both Eigenlayer points and then also the Swell airdrop as well too. That's pretty smart, actually. You know,
NPC
for the people who,
that's too smart for an NPC.
I know. Well, that's why he has a curve cap tattoo. He's getting ahead of us actually with the comments. So those are like the 2 most crowded trades. If we had to think about like if you have $100 million worth of LSDs and what you're going to do with it, those are the 2 trades. There's also Blast as well too, which, you know, we've seen a ton released about. Blast is another one that's crowded. There's over $1 billion or close to $1 billion of TVL in this one as well too. It's going to be really crowded, but it's essentially like Blur's L2 that's coming. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, crowded. Everybody knows about it. It's not a secret, and you know, it's probably only worthwhile if you have like a good amount of cash, right? Because there's probably better ROI in different places that you can find. Okay, so let's go on to L1s next. L1s, L2s. And NBC 68 actually got a little bit ahead of us for Scroll. Have you guys used Scroll?
Yeah, I have. I've been using Scroll a lot. I really like it. Very good L2. One of the apps that I've been using is Ambient, which I've been using on Ethereum and Scroll, which has been really cool. I think Scroll is probably one of the L2s that people don't really talk about as much. I think we all hear about ZK Sync, and we hear about Starknet, but I don't really see too much being talked about in terms of Scroll. But yeah, it's one that I've been using a fair amount in the last couple of months, I should say. Yeah, Ambient. I've been using this on Ethereum and Scroll. I believe it's on Canto as well.
It is on Canto. So Ambient used to be, and I always get it mixed up. It either used to be Cow Swap or Croc Swap.
Croc Swap.
Croc Swap, that's it. Yeah. And it really smart guys. They essentially got copied by Uniswap v4 for their which system was it?
It's the system where they have it's the system where they have all their contracts in like one place.
Yeah, it was that, and then there was something else as well too, because Balancer had a singleton contract. I believe it was the request for quote, or no, that was CowSwap. I always get it mixed up, but CrocSwap is pretty cool. You can come and I believe the thing to do would like add some funds into the pool and just be an LP. It's quick and easy, and the scroll bridge is pretty good. I actually have a scroll T-shirt I got at ETH Denver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Any tattoos?
Not yet. But let's see how big the airdrop is actually. Okay, so another big L2 is ZK Sync.
I think that's one of the crowded ones, I'd say. But I think there's still people building some cool stuff on there. And I think they've raised so many millions. I'm sure like some really cool stuff will come out of ZK Sync.
Have you tried it yet? Because it's one of the ones I haven't actually.
Yeah, I've been using it a lot. They have this gas rebate, so part of your gas fees are getting refunded to you, which is really nice. I think SyncSwap is still like the #1 app in terms of TVL. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I think like the comment says, I think it is a little overoccupied, overfarmed.
Yeah, they do have $159 million worth of TVL. We can take a look at some of the big protocols on DeFi Llama. So SyncSwap, ZK Mute, Velacore.
So Maverick is actually a really nice DEX. I do like that.
Yeah, well, they've been out for a while. They've been on ETH as well too. Are they really? Yeah. Is ZK Sync one of the bigger places that they're deployed?
No, I don't think it is. Oh, maybe it is. I'm not sure. I don't think it's #1 on ZK Sync. No.
So actually, I didn't have Maverick in this list, but I believe they'll have something at some point.
I think they have a token already.
Do they? Did they release?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay. We'll leave them off because yeah.
Just one on the list there, number 14, Satori. That's quite a nice derivative perps protocol. Again, that has no token. So again, you could do 2 in 1 there. If you're trading ETH futures on Satori, you could also kind of get the ZK Sync transaction count up as well.
Nice. And so we have another L2 as well too. So new paradigm from Manta is coming out. So it's the first ETH L2 on Celestia. But you need an invite code. I think we have some invite codes that we'll post into our Telegram chat if you want. We haven't done too many ref links, but we'll talk about it internally, and maybe we'll share some ref links out. But this one you do need an invite code to get into, and I think that there's no date on like when it's coming, but it's just another L2. That's the problem, right? Remember we had Tarek on yesterday, and he's like, if you're not launching an L2 in 2024, are you even alive?
Are we going to launch a Leviathan L2?
Yes, that is true. Yes, we will. Why not? I'm sure that we could go talk with the Polygon guys and get something launched within the next couple of days if we wanted.
Yep. All
right, let's talk about the culture, right? And it is Bear Chain. Bear Chain is probably crypto Twitter's favorite L2 that's coming this year. We've heard a lot about it, but no docs have come out, or we really haven't gotten a ton of details yet. Very smart guys, really well liked within the community. They're I believe it's the NFTs. They have their Bear NFTs, right?
Yeah, that's right. So Bear Chain's actually Cosmos Layer 1. And they've got a bunch of these bears getting high NFT collections, Bong Bears and Bit Bears and all sorts. And people are speculating that holding these will give you an airdrop. And if you actually look at the floor price of the Bong Bears, you'll be really shocked. And some of the prices that they've been selling for recently.
Oh my God, 373 floor price. What?
I mean, I don't think they're selling for that much, but some of the recent, if you click on perhaps activity, you'll be able to see like some of the recent sales. Yeah,
Whoa, 50 ETH.
yeah,
What's going on? Are you get serious?
crazy.
I think these were selling, like, if we look at the activity, right? Like, these things were selling for like less than an ETH a while back. Sometime, when was this? Back in January 2021, and now they're selling for 50. What a great run up.
I believe there's also going to be one more rebase. So like if you hold some of these, you will get airdropped another bear of some sort. There will be one final rebase, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like
I'd,
another collection. Yeah.
I'd read something that said that Ethereum NFTs were basically dead. It looks like this one's an Ethereum-based NFT. What's your thoughts on Ethereum NFTs versus what I think Solana are the popular ones, or maybe Bitcoin ordinals?
Well, I mean, the ETH NFTs always hold higher prices if you look at the like volume charts and the top charts. I think there's still a lot of activity that takes place on Blur, but I'm sure that Solana is making some inroads as well too. Okay, so we talked about Swell, we talked about Bera. All right, so let's get into a couple of perp dexes. So IntentX, we actually had on the show a while back. We had an interview with them that we'll have in the links here. And I've actually used this. You've been using this, haven't you, Wajahat?
Yeah, I've been using it a little bit, doing some delta neutral stuff. Yeah, so far I enjoy it. I think in recent days, especially when the market's been kind of heating up, there's been a few times where there's just been no liquidity, so you just couldn't open a trade. But before that, I've been using it quite a lot, whenever I can.
Yeah, it's interesting. What they do is they have off-chain market makers that essentially will hedge out your trade on a centralized exchange, and then they provide you with a essentially like a CFD to trade with on chain. And I don't think there's any funding rates right now. So if you are going long, it's like EV positive because you're not paying any fees to be long.
Yeah, I think the fees are coming soon though. But yeah, for now there's still no funding rates. So that's really good.
Yeah, and so that's what you were talking about earlier, Wajahat, is that you were using some of these other, you were going long on IntentX and then hedging it out on other exchanges to capture the funding rate.
Yeah, and especially if you find other tokenless perpetual exchanges, you're kind of getting points on both,
Yeah.
and kind of getting the fees as well for doing so.
So TW Norman actually had a question. So if you just want to type it in the chat, we can answer it for you. And he actually mentioned the next one that we wanted to talk about, which was Hyper Liquid, which is like the 2-for-1, right? So I actually have been meaning to check out Hyper Liquid. It's on my list of stuff to look at.
I love Hyper Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know what, and if you look at the stats as well, Hyper Liquid is consistently in the top 5 across all perp dexes, especially across the last month. I've been tracking it. It's higher than GMX, it's higher than synthetics. It's around DYDX, Vertex, and Hyper Liquid is usually around the top 5 in terms of volume. Open interest is also like going up. Number of users are going up. The number of assets supported are going up. So I'm a big fan of Hyperliquid, and the actual experience is really nice because Hyperliquid itself is its own layer 1 chain. So what you do is you just deposit USDC from Arbitrum into their native bridge, and within a couple of seconds you've got USDC on the Hyperliquid app, which is a super scalable custom built app that or chain, I should say, that they've built for this app. They're not going to make any other apps or anything like that on this chain. It's just going to be just the Hyperliquid app. But yeah, it's a really good experience when it comes to actually using it. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, I've been using Vertex actually recently, and I'm very happy with that. It's I think it's my favorite at the moment. But I needed to try Hyperliquid just to check it out and see what's going on there.
I think Hyperliquid is like the place to trade long tail assets, whereas Vertex, you might trade your more traditional sort of crypto assets there. But one of the things that Hyperliquid does is they list perpetuals for even unreleased tokens. So like Layer 0 or like Jupiter, the Solana DEX, they've listed perpetuals for them already, so people can trade these assets before they're even live.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that kind of like wraps it up on the Arbitrum stuff. Now we're going to get into Solana. There's actually quite a few things in Solana. Drift being one of the bigger ones. So this is another derivatives exchange with spot trading and leverage. That's pretty cool. That means you can do some fun stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I might actually have to check this out if it's both spot and perps with cross margin collateral. You can do some fun stuff then.
Yep. It's good. I think the spreads aren't the best on Drift, but you know, you might make up for it with an airdrop.
Exactly. And I think that they actually closed it. Didn't they close down new accounts to join a while back?
No, I'm not too sure. I think I haven't checked that. I used it probably about 2-3 weeks ago. That was the last time I used it.
Oh, okay. Well, they've been seeing a lot more trading volume. So they've had about $4 billion of trading volume, and I'm guessing this is about the time that they kind of announced the airdrop that was coming. You can see that the volume started taking off. They have a price competition right now as well too. So if you are into the perp DEXes, Solana is the place to check out right now. The other big one that everybody knows is coming is Jupiter. So Jupiter is just one of the primary DEXes on Solana. Them and Orca. Have you used this, Wajat?
Yeah, I use them. So Jupyter's an aggregator, so it aggregates via Orca and all the other DEXes as well, like Radium. And so yeah, for anything I do on Solana, like I'll probably use Jupyter as my exchange. And they've got all these other features as well, like limit orders, dollar cost average. They've got perpetuals as well. So you know, my speculation is that using some of these other features will give you more of an edge when it comes to an airdrop.
Yeah, you know, the Solana experience has been really nice. I've been using it the past couple of weeks, and it's just so easy. Like the wallet is really nice, and the Phantom is just great for user experience, and everything's just like quick and super easy as well too. Yeah, for the Jupiter like valuation, which we got the question for, it's probably going to be at least a billion or $1.5 billion fully diluted, which probably is going to be similar to what Jito came out with at first as the aggregator, since they are doing so much volume. Probably one of the bigger ones and crowded ones probably the most crowded one for Solana at the moment.
Yeah, definitely the most crowded for Solana. Like there are like the other ones on Solana, like Margin, Vi, Camino, Parcel, and a ton of others as well. But yeah, I think Jupiter is definitely the one that most people have been using.
Yeah. So I think that I think it's probably going to be in like $1 to $2 billion valuation. We've heard other people talking that it's in 3 to 5, but that would put the token somewhere between like 10 to 50 cents in the first week. So Pith, which was a Oracle that launched on Solana, had a $4 billion valuation when it launched, and potentially Jupiter might be more valuable than that. So we'll find out. Okay, so here's a. Did we have Sega on? I believe we had Sega on this show. Sega is similar to IntentX, except they're using options to create these structured products like covered calls and cash secured puts, where essentially you can put some either ETH or Solana or USDC into, and then it'll use off-chain market makers that will place trades for you, and then you'll earn yield over time. Really interesting system. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that Sega's also not only on Solana, it's on Arbitrum as well.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Huh. That's cool. I did not know that. So that's pretty nice. And they have some good backing as well too. But it's nice that they've been able to like bridge into the options ecosystem, which we haven't had so far. And so we also have another perp DEX as well too. Man, there's a ton of these, isn't there? So Zeta. I've actually been messing around with this one the past couple of days. Pretty good. The funding rates here have been extremely high for some reason. You're looking at like 100 to 120% for like Bitcoin and ETH. and then maybe like 150 to 200% for funding rates on Solana. I've actually been really surprised about that more than anything else. Just the funding rates that people are paying to use Zeta at the moment.
Points mean prizes.
Yeah, points mean prizes. I don't really understand. Like, who's is the perp dex space like winner take all, or is there enough space for like these smaller perp dexes to just exist, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a winner take all. I think there'll just be a select few winners that most people end up using.
Yeah.
Just like, how many dexes do we have like across all chains? We probably have like thousands of them.
So many, right? And we kind of went through this. We kind of went through this with in 2021, where there was just like every new dex would have liquidity, like a token and liquidity rewards, and eventually we kind of hit well, I wouldn't even say that, because there's still new dexes popping up everywhere. Like Camelot is pretty recent. You know, like pretty much every new L2 has their own dex as well too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So let's talk about something that's not a perp dex. So this is Grass. Grass is like a Chrome extension that you throw on, and it uses your unused bandwidth to then essentially provide, like, I think, VPN services for people. And you don't even have to do anything. You just install the Chrome app and it runs in the background. This one's pretty cool. I've been running it for like the past 3 days. You get points. I don't know how much the points are worth, but it seems pretty easy. Apparently, like, if you have a Solana phone as well too, then, you know, I think there was the first go for Grass was on the Solana phone. So let's see. TW Normie had strategies for farming perp dex type airdrops without losing liquidity in trades. Probably the easiest is just being like spot long somewhere and then borrowing if you need to, and then using that to then create a delta neutral trade. So you could, like, the one that I was using for Zeta was you use another platform like Camino, and you could deposit like Solana here, and then you can borrow, I don't know, 33%, 40% through Camino, and then use that to then open up like a 3x short on Zeta or the other perp dexes that you want to go to. And then you just manage it as it goes up or down to move funds back and forth, just to make sure that the collateralization ratios are all balanced out.
Yep, that works.
Yeah, and Camino's actually on our list as well too. They say points.
Yep.
Apparently they have some coming soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
A smarter person than me told me that means prizes.
Okay. Oh, here's another L2 that we didn't talk about, but which is definitely on the list, which is Layer 0. Layer 0 is really widely used, and it's, again, probably one of the more crowded ones, but definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yep. Just 1 point on Grass that we just highlighted before. They're actually incubated by the same teams that incubated protocols like Redacted Cartel. So they've got some good backers there.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I think that it kind of just, you install the Chrome app and it runs. So here we go. They raised $3.5 million from Polychain, Tribe, Bitscale, Advisors, and a few other people as well too. So I think this is big brain as well.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty cool.
Yep. I think I'm excited for this whole sector of decentralized physical infrastructure. Seems really interesting.
Is this DPEN though, technically?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Right. Okay. So we talked about Camino and we talked about Grass. Did you have anything more to say about Layer 0?
No, it's integrated like really well actually in like loads of normal apps that we use today. So you probably haven't even realized that you've used Layer 0 a lot of the time.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is Bungee Exchange. And Bungee Exchange is great. I actually just used it this morning. It's a cross-chain aggregator for bridges. So let's say you need to send, 10,000 USDC from Ethereum to any of these networks. it'll find the best route for you, right? And show you the best route and tell you the one that's the fastest or the best price. And they just raised a $5 million round. So not Bungee, but Socket, which is the underlying infratech, raised a $5 million round recently. And it's been rumored that they're going to have an airdrop at some point. So if you do bridge, Bungee is great and it works really well. So something to check out. They also have, you can choose all the routes that you want to use. Look at all the bridges. That's great.
Yeah, it's really good. I like to use Bungee. It's the one that I probably use the most, but there are a few other tokenless bridges as well that I try to just use here and there. But yeah, Bungee works well, especially because they've got the Circle CCTP integration. So like when you bridge with USDC and go to USDC. So in this example, we're going from
USDC to USDCE.
Yeah, maybe pick a different chain, like
not
like Arbitrum. Should be
out.
at the top.
Yeah.
And then pick USDC.
So it's USDC coin. It's native, and you only
there you go.
Like
Circle CCTP. There you go. So
that's pretty cool.
That's really nice. Yeah, because you could bridge even like 10 million USDC, and you'd get 10 million USDC on the other chain.
Oh yeah. Hey, look at that. Oh wait, no, it's too much. Okay, so I can bridge $1 million, and I'm only going to lose 85 cents. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, which is just the fee. So yeah, that's really nice. There's no slippage.
Wow, that's great. That's really nice. It's nice that I'm actually more happy about Circle CCTP than anything else that launched in 2022. You know, like not having to. Do you remember back in like 2021 when Avalanche was running, and all these other L2s that had like 3 different types of stables on them? You'd have like USDCE, USDC, and then like one other type as well too for all the different wrappers.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Like there'll be like Axelar USDC and then USDCE and then native USDC. Yeah, it's still the problem today.
Yeah, it's that. I think that's the hardest part about like onboarding people is just saying like explaining the wrappers, especially when they go to L2s. Like they get some like low liquidity stablecoin wrapper, and you kind of have to explain to them that you have the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think is something that we need to solve, but hopefully things like this can help solve that.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of bridges, we also want to talk about Wormhole. Wormhole has gotten massive cash injections. Not for, well, I mean, they've had fundraising rounds, but they also had the Wormhole hack that happened back in 2022 where $300 million was stolen, immediately covered up by Jump. So
yep.
Yeah. But I believe Wormhole will probably be, is Wormhole integrated into Bungee somehow?
I don't think it is. But like the great thing about Wormhole is that they help to connect with some of these other chains that you just would otherwise find it difficult to bridge to, especially like, you know, the new layer ones, for example, like Sui, which like otherwise are just kind of difficult to get to, or Aptos. So you could use Wormhole for that.
Have you?
And Solana as well.
Yeah. Have you used any of those yet, like Sui or Say or?
Yeah, I like to try everything out. So yeah, I've tried everything as much as I can possibly try. Yeah, I've been playing around with Say a lot recently.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go over there. Apparently, it's really fast, and they're building it for like trading applications.
Yeah, it's got the fastest time to finality of any other chain. I think it's 290 milliseconds.
Wow, that's great. Well, maybe I'll have to bridge some funds over today to go check it out. All right, so last one that we got on our list for today is Rainbow Wallet. Highly recommend. Love Rainbow Wallet for mobile, and it's great. It's probably like the best UX when it comes to mobile wallets.
Have you tried it out?
Rainbow? Yeah, no, I've been using Rainbow for a long time. For like, if you have $100 on base and you want to use mobile for it, I think it's really nice. Plus, it has Wallet Connect integration, so it works really well. But I think when you think about like what a mobile wallet UX should be, Rainbow has like the best UX. It's the easiest to use.
How does it manage private keys? Do they keep a copy?
No, you keep your private keys. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's like Argent, but just like the overall UX and how it works, like it really feels well designed. Like they've focused on like the UX first and foremost, and it's just great. And it's also integrated into pretty much everything as well too.
Interesting. I haven't tried it out. I'll be honest. I'm not particularly keen on having a mobile wallet and having like a reasonable amount of money on it. But yeah, I guess maybe if you want to try things out on your phone, especially now that we're seeing more mobile friendly crypto apps, and maybe this would be the one to use.
Yeah, potentially.
Are they tracking points?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's probably a lot more. I actually was searching around this morning, and I found some like here. We'll share this in this doc that I found. But there are like way more potential airdrops than these. We just talked about the big ones. Here's a list that I found this morning that has a ton of them. There's like 50 or 60. I know that you have like 100 on your list, Wajahat. So
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. Don't get me wrong. So
What do you make
yeah.
of the DeFi Llama airdrop list, which was the only one I knew about? Is that pretty good?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's okay. Yeah, they essentially have a list of all the tokenless protocols, but you'll find that some protocols have been tokenless for like 3 years. But you'll see like some of the ones that have just been listed, like there. Some of them are it's pretty good. It's a nice place to aggregate all this information.
Oh, and they're quick as well, and they've got stuff that just came up like 6 days ago, 7 days ago. That's
yeah.
cool.
And they've got a lot of ones that like people are talking about. Like we've just scrolled through quite a few that I've seen talked about on Twitter a lot. So yeah.
It's there was one other one that I wanted to. There's some like Cosmos stuff as well too, but again, the Cosmos is like a whole different ecosystem. Like there's probably, for all the networks that we talked about, there's probably stuff inside of those, like for Scroll and Layer 0 and Manta and everything else, but we kind of stuck to the big ones where we've been seeing a lot of hype recently. So oh yeah, here we go. This is a great question from Talon McRae. How many Solana phones do I need to become a billionaire? The answer is all of them. Did you get a Solana phone?
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
Well, see, that's why we're mid-curve here. Is because this entire podcast was completely mid-curve. So
I'm not gonna lie, if there was like an Ethereum phone, I'd get it.
Wouldn't be that like a here? I'll show you the Ethereum phone. Here we go. It's this thing. The good old Nokia 9500. The pinnacle of pre-iPhone smartphones.
Okay, the question is, can you airdrop farm on it?
I probably. Did you ever have one of these 9500s or something like it? Like this one, this one, this smaller one, or the 9300. These were like the pinnacle of mobile phone tech before the iPhone came out.
What year did this phone come out in?
Oh man,
Watch that's like you boomers.
2004 it says. So it had a really nice 3-year run. Look, it had a. Remember when we used to talk about like processors? We'd actually like say the processor count, like 150 megahertz or gigahertz or something like that. And 64 megabytes of RAM was like a lot at the time. It's incredible how much we've gone in 20 years.
Yeah.
It couldn't even run Solana.
You know what? I'm most excited about the Curve L2 that's going to come. Gary can't hear you.
Oh, Garrett is muted.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not sure which should you be more excited about, the Curve L2 or the Curve phone. I have a screenshot of the potential Curve phone, which I got off of hacked images from Mitch's computer.
Oh,
You
really?
want to bring that up?
Oh, I want to see it. That's incredible. But I do want to talk about that tweet with Curve actually liking somebody saying that there's going to be a Curve L2.
Yeah. So if there is plans to do an L2, I don't know anything about it. But I think it makes sense since everything, like, I saw the Tarex episode the other day, and he persuaded me, at least, like, everything needs its own L2. I
Exactly.
do suspect that, like, Curve could do some interesting things with an L2 if it came out. My guess is that if it came out, it would not be in in 2024. Mitch posted a list of the things that at least he was interested in or looking into, and none of them were like an L2. So there's like a laundry list of stuff that's likely ahead of it. That being said, like, I could imagine very much like where Mitch like took like a year or two to cogitate on how to release a lending protocol and came out with something like really novel with Curve USD. My guess is if he releases something in the L2 vein, he's going to kind of sit back, see how all the L2s play out, and figure out how he can launch some sort of like advanced mathematically like exquisite L2, which kind of like takes us all by surprise. So that would be what I would expect for a Curve L2.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. So Frax is launching Frax Chain here in January. And
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
most
gonna be
excited
big.
about this one. Yeah, and Sam has pretty much confirmed that there is going to be points and incentives and airdrops and God knows what else. But coming into 2024, I think well, I'm a huge Frax bull, but this is the one that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I wonder like what they'll do for this. Like, are they going to incentivize VFXS holders? Is it going to be people who are using the different apps, whether it's lending or
So
staking?
I think it's a bunch actually. So Sam has pretty much confirmed to say that if you look at all the airdrops, right? Like if you think about how they potentially do stuff, they look at the amount of transaction fees that you generate on an L2, and then they can essentially like rebate you either like one for one. But what Sam is thinking about is saying that we can give more than one for one if if it's locked up. So if we give out VFXS, which potentially could have like a 1 to 4 year lock, then we could give out more than $1 because it's okay because people are just going to have to hold it for that time period and they're not going to immediately just like dump and Sybil farm everything. So I think from like a user's perspective, if you're using the network, you'll probably get rebates somehow in the form of VFXS. And then additionally, if you're a builder and you're deploying on the app and you're generating a lot of transactions and you're bringing a lot of revenue, you'll probably get rebates as well too. So I don't think we've seen a network that has like protocol rebates that incentivize builders to just make great apps yet. Maybe Kanto had something like that.
Yeah, I've seen some like up and coming L1s like try to introduce this rebate system at the consensus layer to kind of incentivize builders. Maybe even Phantom were thinking of doing something like that, but I can't remember exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is going to be pretty incredible. I think, we're looking at a additional, I don't know, $1 to $2 billion added on in the market cap, I believe, which would take the FXS price up by 4 to 5x from here, maybe even more. And I think that it's going to be the big sleeper for 2024. If you don't already know about it already, which you should if you watch the show.
Question for you: are you able to show us your Frax tattoo, or is it going to get us kicked off YouTube if you expose it?
No, I should get one. I've been thinking about it. If you get a Curve tattoo, I will get a Frax tattoo, Garrett.
I'm in the never tattoo camp, unfortunately.
Oh no, come on, just join it. It's not that bad. Plus you can get it somewhere where it's like hidden away. You could get it under your arm where nobody would ever see it. But I think the Curve logo is like the pinnacle of crypto logos, right? It's pretty awesome. And it's got that little 3D design, and I don't think there's a better logo in all of crypto.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I've got it as my iPhone background.
Well, the thing that I like about it is that it's just a few lines of Python.
Oh, really?
I don't think any other logo has that property that was like a Python first logo.
What is it actually? It's like a multi-dimensional
It's a Klein bottle.
Klein bottle.
In mathematics, topology specifically, it's like a fairly unique shape in that it kind of folds in upon itself.
Huh. But it's like a Mobius strip, a 3D Mobius strip.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah. But I didn't know the name for that would be a Klein bottle.
Yeah, it's a... let me pull up the Wikipedia article on it.
Oh, look, you can buy glass and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I've been really working to try and 3D print one. I think that would be the like pinnacle if I could 3D print Klein bottle, but it's not easy as you might suspect.
Well, they have like some science stuff. Like, look at this on. Here's some people making some glass stuff. Maybe something like this would be a little bit better, right? Like, check this out. So this is like a copper Klein bottle art. You could even get a desk lamp, but it's not really the curve shape, is it?
But the
I would
curve shape
so
is
buy a
degenerate.
desk lamp if it was in the curve logo shape. I'll 100% buy that.
Maybe that's the merch that we should make. It's pretty cool. I would buy a curved desk lamp, especially if it had all like the colors that it went through. Like if it,
Yeah, I would 100% buy that.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing about the curve logo is it's just a few lines of Python code, so you can do it pretty easily.
That's awesome. We might have to make a curved desk lamp.
See if I can share this. No, I can't. Oh, well.
Because this one's close. Like if you just adjusted the shape a little bit, and if it was flat instead of vertical, or horizontal instead of vertical, I think it would fit the bill. We're gonna get a custom curve desk lamps on Artsy, or not Artsy, on Etsy here soon.
That'd be cool. I would go for something like that. That is very gorgeous. So compliments to whoever that artist is.
Yeah, great job. And it's in copper as well too. It's pretty awesome. I bet you could 3D. We'll get them 3D printed and shipped out, because I want one of these. This is so cool. It's incredible. We're gonna go down this route. Well, cool. Well, this was a little bit different for us. We had discussions about airdrops, which we haven't actually done on the show yet. But give the people what they want, which is more money falling from the sky.
So it's worth asking, when's the Leviathan airdrop?
Soon, TM. Soon, TM. To qualify for that, you would need to come to the Telegram channel that we have, which is Leviathan_news, as well as on Twitter as well. And also subscribe to us on Spotify and YouTube, where we are and where we live stream every day. So that is the alpha for the Leviathan News airdrop.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Points.
Points. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Great show today. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.